afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Himalayan Society for Youth and Women Empowerment, I warmly welcome you all to our today's special talk program on attaining equanimity, find your balance, with the esteemed Khenpo Dr. Ngawang Jorden, PhD in Buddhist Studies, also a principal of International Buddhist Academy, IBA, in Kathmandu, Nepal. To give a brief introduction of Khenpo has obtained the degree of Kakyupa, equivalent to BA, and Lopen, equivalent to MA in Buddhist Studies. Khenpo Dr. has also taught at Saigon College before going to America to study at Harvard University, where Khenpo completed Master, MA, and then PhD in Buddhist Studies. Khenpo Dr. is an experienced teacher and translator of Buddha Dharma who can impart his deep understanding eloquently to students of all levels. We are truly honored to have Khenpo Dr. Jorden with us today, and we are grateful for the opportunity to learn from Khenpo today.
Sanjay Jordon, Doji Janum La, Jinjubado, Dani Jabuchi, Daki, Son, Dola Sanjay Dubaro, Sanjay Jordon, Doji Janum La, Jinjubado, Dani Jabuchi, Daki, Zoji, Son, Dola Sanjay Dubaro, Sanjay Jordon, Doji Janum La, Jinjubado, Dani Jabuchi, Daki, Zoji, Son, Dola Sanjay Dubaro, Simjay Tamjay Deva, and David Judan, the Jude, Dungan, and Dungan, Judan, the Jude, Dungan, Deva, Minawa Jude, Chandan, the Nanan, the Damagan, Moche, Jelazo, Namagan, Dujas, the Jibado, Gando, Jinja, Pandanza, Namaran Boche, Nagacho, Fermentation, Nagatin Chibu, and Jeff on the Kuzundo Yimado, Namo Aya, Haikedan, the Zenge, Runda, the Mekan, the Walking Titanum Sezamba, Tamje Gedon, Dagacho, yeah, first of all, I would like to thank Tenzila for this very welcoming introduction. And also, I'm happy to be here to present you today's talk, basically to share some of the thoughts with you. Instead of me talking maybe hours or so, I think it's better if I open this for question-answer session rather than me talking all the time, because I think I have no way of knowing what kinds of Buddhist principles and Buddhist thoughts that you are interested, or sometimes you may have some doubts or concerns, or you need some clarifications. So in that way, then if we have this question answer, then I will know, and I will also then hear you, and then at that time then I will know whether I can actually answer you or not, right? And I'll be very honest with you. I will not pretend to know something that I don't know, and also I will share with you what I know, right? So that in your mind, then at the beginning I will give you some kind of introductory thoughts, right? So anyway, Buddha Dharma. What is Buddha Dharma? But in Tibetan, Sangye Yichuk, teachings of the Buddha. What is teachings of the Buddha? What constitutes teachings of the Buddha? What is the definition of teaching of the Buddha? right? So first we really have to identify that. Then from then on, you will know what you are supposed to be doing is the real Buddha Dharma or not, without actually having any understanding of what is Buddha Dharma, what is the definition of that Buddha Dharma. Then, because you may think that I'm a Buddhist, I'm practicing Buddha Dharma, but really when it comes down to actual identification of it, then you have no idea what you are really doing. And then also, whether the supposed to be doing Buddha Dharma is actually Buddha Dharma or not, right? So that's why it's very important first to know what is Buddha Dharma, what is the teachings of the Buddha. The teachings of the Buddha, of course, if you get into it, of course, it's huge, it's a lot of things. However, it is all summarized in a very, very succinct and also very simple way for us to be able to understand. There is a very famous quotation, of course. So it comes down to so I'm just shortening it, okay? Which means a thing, a practice, or a methodology, or a skillful means that which enables you to tame your mind, or in other words, to make yourself better, right? Tame your mind doesn't mean that it's something separate from you that you have to tame. Basically, it means a methodology or a skillful means or method that which enables you, that empowers you, that makes you able to make yourself better than what you used to be. So when you have that, and that technique, that method is, you can call Buddha Dharma. So that's why meaning when you are able to thoroughly tame your mind, then that which makes you, that which enables you to do that, that is Buddha Dharma. Right? So that you have to identify, and then you also have to check. When you say, I'm practicing Buddha Dharma, teachings of the Buddha, I'm a Buddhist because I believe in such and such. So do you really have that? Do you own that? Do you have that method, that skillful means? Right? And if you do, then with that methodology, with that skillful means, you should be able to make yourself better, rather than, the other way around, right? Because in that way, then you can also know whether the Buddha Dharma is helping you or not, right? So many of the times people say, oh, I did that, I prayed for that, I commissioned this and that in the name of Buddha Dharma, but it's not helping me, I'm still suffering and so forth and so on. But at that time, actually, if you look at it, you are not really taming your mind. Okay? It's not anything else but your mind. That is you, actually. Your mind is the one, according to Buddhism. So in general, like there are many different kinds of religion or great teachers, right? And they have taught many different things. but there wasn't a Buddha. Because many other teachers have said that this whole universe, whole world was created by some higher power and God and Allah and all of those different things. But Buddha is the one who gave this first teaching, which says nobody made these things, right? This is all kind of made by means of many different causing conditions. So in other words, it's a dependently arising things. So dependently arising things, like we're using English word, when you say dependent, then it is not independent. The others are saying it's dependent on completely on a higher power. But in Buddha said, it's not really one particular thing. It is due to many different things put together, dependent on many different things, then things come into being, including myself. Right? I exist. I came into being in this world. Of course, in this very lifetime, my main cause and conditions are, of course, my previous karma plus my parents and then other many different things, right? But I did not come into being independently. I came into being dependent on many different things. Same thing with our own life. When we go on like a living life, it's the same thing also. However, we have to identify who am I, right? Who am I? And what makes me who I am right now? And also, according to Buddhism, we have been in this world, in this cyclic existence many times. This time we happen to be whatever we are right now, and the bodies, whatever we have, looks and everything. But it's not just one, right? We have been in this cyclic existence, samsara, in Sanskrit, using Sanskrit term. In Tibetan it's korva, because we are just, kind of wandering many different times, many different lifetimes, and each time we have different kind of a look, different body, sometimes human beings, sometimes, animals, and you name it. So, since Buddhism, believe in or taught us the notion of previous life, future life, and so Buddhism means we believe in past and future lives, right? So that's why we are not the same, meaning our bodies are different. However, what continues, where we came from, is that the same me from the past, wherever maybe at one time animal, and now a human being, and next where we are going we don't know yet. Are those same? Of course we know that body is not going to be the same. We are going to leave this body behind, right? Then I think the question is, what is continuing? What came from past to here, and what is going from here to the next, right? Because that's very important. I started with this Rangisenni Yongsudu. The main purpose of the Buddhist teaching or practice is to tame my mind. That is the one that continues. The mind. It never said it's my body. It's my mind. That is the one, right? So that's why if we don't identify our own mind, who I am, then I think it would be difficult to have the sense of responsibility of how you take care of yourself. So, for that reason, we say the mind. Now we have to identify mind. So, when we say Rangi Semni, my own mind, what is this say? What is this mind? So we have to talk a little bit about the Buddhist psychology, right? Actually, we are made out of looking at our body at this time. Buddhism, summarize everything into 3 different kind of features. We have the skandha, 5 skandhas, it's called Pumbunga. Then 12 ayatanas, that is in Tibetan is Khenchen Chungi, okay? That is means source of perception, 12 sources of perception. And then Kamchoki, 18 dhatus. So dhatus means elements. So we are that. So and all these kind of things are what we are made out of. And when you look at our body, everything is summarized, everything is subsumed into these 3 different categories. So that's where we have to look into, for example, mind, ngai sen. My mind is there, right? So we are not going to go into these, 5 skandhas and 12 ayatanas and 18 dhatus. No, we don't have time. But here the main thing is the Rangi Sen, my own mind. What is this mind talking about? The mind is the one that is the main I, you, everything. And mind is the one that needs to be improved or need to be made into something good, and then better, and finally perfection. So that is what actually Buddhism teaches us, and that is what it is called path, Buddhist path. On the Buddhist path, what are we doing? We are actually making this mind better every time and to the level of perfection. When our mind is perfected, and that is called Sanketa, enlightenment, right? So that's why the identification of this mind is very important, because we always say, I have to improve my mind, I have to make my mind better. And also, for example, in today's world, there are so many distractions and so many causes and conditions that make us really unhappy and unsatisfactory and everything like that. But there's the Buddhist way of making it better. But in order to do that, first we have to identify what are we making ourselves better. Because you need a tangible thing, right? The mind is not something you can touch, so it's difficult. But at least if you have an idea, then you can work from there. So that's why now this mind, we are talking about this mind. Mind means, I think you must have heard this consciousness, right? In English term using in Tibetan we have Sem, Tang, and then Senjung. So there are 2 categories, Sem, Tang, Senjung. The Sem is the mind in English, but also it's called consciousness. Okay? And the Senjung in Tibetan, Senjung. So the Senjung, of course, is in Buddhism. Originally, it is taught in Sanskrit. So in Sanskrit terminology, the Sem, Tang, Senjung
mind, right, the consciousness. And Senjung, I think in English is translated as secondary mind. So the Sanskrit term for that mind is chitta. And Senjung, the secondary mind is chaita. Chitta chaita. Okay? Chitta chaita. So then the consciousness. So another way of putting this, the Sentang Senjung or Chitta chaita is the consciousness and secondary mind, right? In English already have it. So consciousness is the main mind or the main kind of driving force. And then the secondary is the, what you call the follower or the retinue that which follows the main mind. Without the main mind, without the consciousness, there wouldn't be chaita or secondary minds. Secondary minds always follow the main mind. Okay? So as long as there is a main mind, definitely there's going to be, quite a number of secondary minds, depending on which state of mind at that time you are having. Like a good state of mind or bad state of mind or neutral state of mind, depending on how you feel at that time, right? So that's why the main mind first. Talking about main mind, then common to all the Buddhist schools, for example, Theravada, Mahayana, Vajrayana, for everybody accepts, like a common to all of them, there are 6 consciousnesses. Okay? 6 consciousnesses. And the 6 consciousnesses are all kind of related with 6 faculties. We have faculties, right? So all connected with our body. For example, eye consciousness. Eye consciousness is related with, connected with the eye faculty, eye organ. Because when eye organ and the object, maybe let's say the form, right? Some kind of shape or form or color. When these two meet together, then it generates the eye consciousness. Similarly, sound and ear generates ear consciousness, and the tongue and so forth, up to like a 6th one. 6th one is the mental consciousness. Mental consciousness is the most important one actually, because the eye consciousness, the ear consciousness, all of these will not exist anymore when we leave our body, when we die. But the mental consciousness still continues. This is common to all the Buddhist schools. Okay? However, when we go to the Mahayana, then it's a little bit more profound. So Mahayana will say that up to this point, that up to 6 consciousness is the same. We all share the same thing, right? So that's why the 6th one, commonly speaking, they also say that what continues from this life to the next, what came from previous life is our 6th consciousness. 6th consciousness never changed, okay? It came with whatever it is equipped with at that time. There are some good qualities or bad qualities depending on how you did it in your previous life, right? It's a shared kind of thing. It's common to both Theravadins and the Mayans. However, when you come to the Mayan itself, exclusively with the Mayan idea, then the Mayan will further expand on the sixth consciousness. The sixth consciousness can further divide into two more categories. Because then you can say the sixth consciousness is now divided by means of gross, right, aspect of it, and then mediocre, like a not so gross, yet still is not refined in the middle, and then very finest one. The very gross one is the sixth mental consciousness. And according to Mahayana, it says it doesn't continue, it did not come from previous. It is still connected with the body organ, okay, body cavity. So it stops there, it will not continue, even maybe when we are sleeping, what goes on is not the gross mental consciousness, okay? And then, so it also stops where when we die, it doesn't continue. What continues is the other aspect. So now in the middle, there's the call, again, the sixth consciousness, the general name for that in Tibetan is Yiki number Shiva, those who are following, name, Yiki number Shiva. Number Shiva is the consciousness, right? So Yiki number Shiva, the mental consciousness. And so Mahayana further kind of develops on this Yiki number Shiva or the mental consciousness. Two more. One is called New Mungbeyi or Nyuyi, short form is Nyuyi, New Mungbeyi, which is defiled consciousness, or defiled mental consciousness, sorry. Defiled mental consciousness, that's the seventh one. And then the eighth one is called Guixi. Guixi Namshi, okay? So that is called all-base consciousness. Gunxi in Tibetan, Gunxi, which means the basis for all, foundation of all. So whichever you call it, that's Gunxi, and that is consciousness. But actually, it is the very subtle aspect of the mental consciousness. And so, what really continues from this life to the next, and what came from previous is this one. The alaya. So Sanskrit for that is alaya vijnana. So then translation into English is all-base consciousness, or foundation, the consciousness of foundation for all. And Tibetan word for it, Kunshi Namashipa, Kunji Kunshi Namashipa, okay? And the middle one, the defiled mental consciousness. So there is this, I'm not very sure, but also nobody really determined it. The nature of that, the seventh one, is looking at that seventh one, its job, its work is, it's looking at this eighth consciousness as its object, looking at the Kunshi number Shiva as its object, and then thinking that it's me. That is me. So that is like Nanzimba meaning, then grasping it as I. But this defiled consciousness, Nyumubeyi, okay, whether it continues even when we are sleeping is not yet determined. I don't have the answer for it. So it's the homework for everybody to check whether it is there or not. definitely the Yinamrashiva or the mental consciousness does not exist. Right? It stops when we are sleeping. But this second one is still question mark. The eighth one continues. Okay? What makes us not dead? For example, even when we sometimes become unconscious for some time. And of course, getting out from the sleep, very deep sleep, and all of those, what makes us like alive again is because the alaya, Kunshinamshe, is continuing. And then also, another thing, why this particular consciousness is called Kunshinamshe, Tibetan term for that, Kunshinamshe, right? Because it is the base, it is the foundation for all, meaning, but we always talk about, karma, right? What is karma? What does it mean? Karma means sometimes we do have a little bit idea of if something happens to us, we easily say, it's karma, means something that we have done. When we have done, we don't know. But yeah, let's say we have done something. But since then, where was that? Whatever that, that thing that we have already accumulated, where is that? It has to have some place, right? That's the Kunshinamshe. So that's why it's called all-based, the foundation for all. So everything we can dump in that, good, bad, neutral, right? Because sometimes the people do not really have a very good understanding we talk about karma all the time. But karma is not a fancy word. It's not something mystical thing. It's not something kind of Buddhist, terminology that is technical. No, it's not. It's just a simple word. Karma means, something you have done. Something I did. So that means there's the good karma, the bad karma, and the neutral karma. There's nothing in our life that is not karma. For example, right now you guys are listening to me. Also you are creating karma every moment. And where is that creation goes in? Its effect. I'm not talking about the whole thing goes in. Its effect, its residue or the seed that we are, every moment we are accumulating. It has to have somewhere to go, right? It's going into this called Kunshinamshe. The all-based consciousness is there. We are storing everything there. So luckily, this seed or the residue or the whatever, the effect or the potential, maybe some kind of potential, it doesn't have the physical form. Otherwise, this whole universe is not going to be big enough to host it, right? So since it doesn't have a form, so therefore, we have no problem like that. How can this Kunshinamshe, all-based consciousness, accommodate all of this, right? Okay? So this Kunshinamshe, this mind, which is coming from previous life to today's our life, and it will go on from here to next. That is Kunshinamshe. And if that Kunshinamshe, if you are kind of curious about what it is just the luminosity. So you can imagine like our mind, when we think of mind has no form, no color. So, but there is this luminosity. There's that, because it's not dark, right? When we think about the mind, it's not dark. When even when we close our eyes, but think about the mind, the consciousness, there's the brightness, there's this luminosity, right? So that is the alaya, or the all-based consciousness, and it's not the original consciousness, the alaya vijnana, is never tainted. it's not like leaning on any extremes. It's neither, its original, nature is neither positive nor negative, but it is neutral. Why it is neutral? Because it is the basis for all, right? It has to accommodate everything. It doesn't discriminate. So this is a kind of a welcoming treasury kind of a place, okay, where all our karmic seed or potential goes in. And from this, then it is now generating fruits, or it's coming into being as a result, good, bad, So, the reason why I explain this is because then when we say tame our mind, we have to work on our mind, we have to make ourselves better, means this mind we are talking about. When this mind, the main mind, this is the main mind, how do we make this main mind better? Okay, main mind itself cannot be made into something, you can change it. But this main mind can be manipulated. The main mind is, as I told you, it's the welcoming everything in it. So that's why we have all these different kinds of chaitas, chitta, chaita, remember? There's a chitta is the main mind, and according to mine there are 8 of them. And now comes to the chaita, the secondary mind, that there are many, okay? Of course, actually thinking about it, there's no really counting, they're countless. But it can be categorized. So that's why, according to Buddhist psychology, Mahayana Buddhist psychology, this chaita, or the secondary mind, altogether is 51. Everything can be subsumed into 51 different kinds of secondary minds. And according to Theravada, particularly following the Abhidharma Kosha, this secondary mind, Tibetan Senjung, can be subsumed into 49 different kinds of secondary minds. And these 49 different kinds of secondary minds are everything, like a good mind, that means virtuous mind, non-virtuous mind, and neutral mind, okay? Right? So these secondary minds are changing the main mind. So that's why tame your mind means work on generating these good, virtuous secondary minds, as many as you can. Okay? For example, the secondary minds, like what? Like a positive secondary mind, or the virtuous secondary mind, like what? Virtuous secondary mind is like loving, kindness, compassion, generosity, right? All of these are secondary minds. So when you develop more of this, then your main mind will become compassionate, loving mind, generous mind. That's how you become generous. Okay? But if you go with the wrong way, with the negative mind, negative secondary minds, if you give chance for these negative secondary minds to be born, you accommodate them, then of course your main mind will also be tainted, will be changed, will be convoluted by means of these negative minds, and then main mind become agitated, angry, right? And also stingy and all of those negative things. So that's why I'm giving you the reason why, how Buddha said you tame your mind. How can I tame? How can I tame my mind? What mind am I talking about? What is this mind that I should be taming myself? Right? And if I do think that this is important, then how do I do? In what way? And then the way of doing that is like generating more of these secondary minds, positive secondary minds, and also be careful not to give rise to negative secondary minds, such as like anger, desire, jealousy, and all of those things, right? So when you give rise to them, and so much that your main mind will be also then completely influenced by this. So that's why when you have these some ideas, then you can work on. For example, let's say you have to check yourself. You have to evaluate yourself, right? What kind of mind do I have right now? How is my this alaya vijnana or the punshi namshe or the all-based consciousness right now? What is this? What is the state of this mind? Is this mind something very like a fuzzy kind of a calm and generous, and some people already have like from the beginning very giving, generous, right? The reason is because that person has worked very hard on the secondary mind to develop, and so that's why your set of the mind you already have this main mind is already like a generous, because you have no problem with that. But if you find that yourself like I cannot let go of things, I have this kind of attachment to something, then work on that by be generous, right? Be kind of train yourself and let go, and then you can check next time. Now, whether this time your all-based consciousness is a little bit easier or not, right? So same thing, all the problems, all the mental problems, the tension, everything is due to these secondary minds. These secondary minds are not with us all the time. They goes and comes, right? And so therefore, through the practice, through the discipline, then what we can do, when we have the right and we have the ability to do is to, work on stopping the negative or non-virtuous secondary minds to arise, and work very hard on developing the virtuous secondary minds to arise. So that includes like wisdom is one of those, right? So when you give rise to wisdom, then the negative side, the opposite side is the ignorance. It will diminish. This is like that, Similarly, when you give rise to a generosity, right, generous mind, so which means you are giving rise to the secondary mind that is called generosity. And then that generosity, secondary mind, influences the main mind, and the main mind becomes very generous. And then when you are generous, when your mind is really in a state of generosity, then stinginess will automatically calm down, or maybe get rid of that. Right? So all of those things are like that. So we can work on our own but we have to educate ourselves first. Because you cannot just say pray to some kind of Buddhist deities, Manjushri, or even powerful like Vajrapani, things like that. No, they will not do it for you. It doesn't work that way. You have to do it yourself. When you are set with doing it for yourself, you have the mind, you have the courage and the determination, and then all the deities, you name it, like starting with our Yudhishthira, you can say it's our, the Bodhisattva compassion, all of them will support you, right? They are there to, as a moral support, but they are not there to work for you. It doesn't work that way. And the nature does not allow. Otherwise, they will gladly do it. They will gladly take all the negatives of your doing, on their own. However, that doesn't work that way. So you have to do it yourself, and when you do it, when you are on the path and doing it correctly, rightly, then all of them will be supporting you, and then your so-called blessing. You will definitely receive blessing, and blessings will also be very obvious to you, but you can feel it. But when you are not doing it right yourself, then you will also feel that they are not giving you blessing. But it's not that they are not giving you, but you are not making it conducive for them to give their blessings, because they become quite helpless themselves. They want to help you so badly. However, you are so bad that when they are coming towards you, you are already running away from them. It's like that, it's something like that, right? So that is why taming your mind means always keep in mind that the secondary minds are the ones that if you don't have it, you have to develop it. So that way, then your mind will be adorned with these qualities. Quality of generosity, and moral conduct, patience, right? All those 6 parameters, all of these are qualities, excellences of the Bodhisattva. Then these you have to develop. Our main mind, the alaya or the all-based consciousness is not called one or the other. It is the base. So it has. You can equip this mind with all different kinds of qualities. The wisdom, the loving, the compassion. Then the mind become rich with all these different kinds of qualities. Right? So that's why then there's nothing else than our own mind. Mind is the main important one. And that is what continues from here to the next, and that is what we also at the end get enlightenment. So getting enlightenment is not this body, because this body is so completely, I don't know. But getting enlightenment is the mind. The mind, our mind, that mind is now perfected with all these different kinds of qualities, adorned with all these virtues, secondary minds, right? Then the perfection of it, final perfection of it, that is called perfect Buddhahood. So that's why even talking about the result of the Buddha, Buddha is called Buddha Kaya, right? The body of the Buddha. Actually, the main obtainment, the final obtainment is called Chukku, like a Dharmakaya. Dharmakaya has no body. But then there is the Rupakaya comes in. Rupakaya comes in because why? It's for sentient beings, it's not for ourselves. But when I become, for example, let's say when I become perfect Buddha, I don't care about the Rupakaya. I don't need it because my enjoyment, my whole obtainment, the final obtainment is the Dharmakaya. Dharmakaya has no form. Dharmakaya means the perfect final, right, the state of the mind. That mind at that time is actually no longer called mind or sense, it's called wisdom, the wisdom of the Buddha. But then Rupakaya, the form body, emanated from Dharmakaya because of the need for sentient beings in order to help them, but not for ourselves. Because when we say, like when we try to achieve Buddhahood, then there are two different purposes. Purpose for oneself or purpose for others. The purpose for oneself is the Dharmakaya, that's it. You do not need anything else. But for other people, then you have to you have to help sentient beings. For that, you have to perform activities, the holy activities of the Buddha. In order to perform activities, then you need a form, you have the body. So that's why Rupakaya, right? Form body. The form body is also further divided because one kind of Buddha body cannot serve for everything, everybody. Because there's the Sambhogakaya, it's one kind of form body of the Buddha. But some Sambhogakaya is not accessible to ordinary beings like us. It is only for higher level bodhisattva. So since Buddha is so compassionate, he doesn't want to leave anybody out. And he wants to include everybody. He wants to help all. So for that reason, then he emanated another form body which is called Nirmanakaya. And Nirmanakaya also has many different Nirmanakaya. Supreme Nirmanakaya is like a Buddha Shakyamuni. Otherwise, sometimes Buddha also can appear as like a tree, or house, or bridge, or wherever is needed. Buddha manifests there. Because the purpose is to help sentient beings. And sentient being has different types of needs. So for that reason, then he kind of appears in different ways, right? But he's not there to, again, I reiterate, again, he's not there to do things for us. We have to do it ourselves. But he's there to show us the path. Teach us. That's what Shakyamuni did. He came to this world, right? Born in Lumbini, and then after that, got enlightenment. According to Mahayana, this is just a play that he was playing with us. Because the original Buddha was enlightened a long time ago, but coming to being born in Lumbini, and after that going to India, where he showed us how to attain enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. All of these are kind of show, his demonstration. So that's why, according to Mahayana, they are so-called like 12 excellent deeds of the Buddha. Zepachungi, in Tibetan, Zepachungi, 12 excellent deeds. Zepa meaning, he's just kind of playing, he was showing his activities, excellent. The actual one is a long time ago happened, right? But the Nirmanakaya, the Supreme Nirmanakaya came to this world and showing us the path, how to embark on the path, and how to practice Dharma, and how to attain Buddhahood. Okay? So maybe I will stop here.